Festive season is just around the corner. Let it be a wedding or gifting your brother something special this Raksha Bandhan. These gift tags are a perfect pair. So quickly, let's start making them. Hi everyone, I'm Ranjitha and welcome back to my channel. So for making these gift tags, I'm starting by using these MDF bases. However, you can do them on cardboard as well. I'm coating them with white gesso. I'm giving them a generous coat. Here I'm using a sponge. One coat should be more than enough, but if needed, feel free to give another coat of gesso. Gesso not only primes the surface but also gives a good base for you to work on in the coming steps. When you're applying more than a layer, make sure to allow it to dry in between layers. Now I'm using this beautiful bandhani pattern paper. As always, all the links to the supplies will be linked in the description below. Feel free to check it out. If you wish to make something similar, feel free to check out the links given below. Now here I am carefully cutting the pattern paper. This is a very simple step, but I prefer to do it because it added so much more depth and beauty to the product. However, depends on the pattern paper you're using. So since I had this square checkered pattern here, so I decided to cut it along. Now I'm carefully placing it on the tag and I'm marking the edge here and cutting the excess part. The cardstock I'm using is quite thick. It is more than 250 GSM, so it's sturdy and it is easy to work with. So here I'm cutting off the excess and then I'm using Mod Podge to adhere this cardstock onto the tag. While applying Mod Podge, make sure that you apply an even thin layer to adhere your cardstock, and also don't forget to seal the top of the paper as well. Since the cardstock is thick, there is not much issue of bubbles, but if your paper is thin, make sure that you seal it well without any bubbles entrapped. So here I am carefully pressing the cardstock down and letting it dry, and then I'm continuing and doing the same step on the second tag as well. This project is very easy, and if you're planning to make something in bulk, this is the best technique, as the pattern paper itself is so beautiful that you can make a bunch of tags in really no time. Both my tags are done, so give it enough time to dry, and once dry we will go ahead and move on to the next step. Here I am mixing yellow acrylic paint along with a dot of red acrylic paint, and I'm making it into an orange tint. I wanted to match it along with the pattern paper. So once I was happy with the shade, I'm carefully applying the orange paint on the remaining part of the tag. I wanted to do this half and half technique. However, you can always adhere the entire gift tag with the pattern paper as well, but I wanted a plain surface to play around with as well. So here I'm carefully painting the remaining part of the tag. As always, I recommend you to go thin layers rather than applying one thick layer at a time. Here I'm using acrylic paints. You can also use chalk paints. It would give a much more matte look as well. I'm done with the painting part. The tags are looking beautiful as it is, but let's go ahead and make it more festive and more blingy. So here I'm using craft glue and I'm adhering some mirrors here and there. This step is entirely optional, but like I told you, it's festive season and it's Raksha Bandhan, so why not add a little more bling to our project. Also, I wanted to suggest these are not just gift tags. You can always add a magnet behind it and turn it into a fridge magnet as well. Alternatively, you can also add a beautiful quote on this or a picture of you and your brother, and these would make the perfect Raksha Bandhan gifts as well. So here I am adding these little mirrors one by one along the design. So you can also align the mirrors along the border, but I just decided to add a few of them along the design. These little details add so much beauty to the product, isn't it? So here I have these beautiful wooden beads. These are hand painted. They look like a king and a queen, or maybe a man and a woman, or maybe in this case just a brother and a sister. So here I'm just adding these two wooden beads on my tag. Beautiful, isn't it? I really liked how the whole theme is going ahead. I'm carefully adding these beads, making sure that they are stuck well. I'm going to do the same thing on the other tag as well. I'm using regular craft glue here, but make sure that you press them firmly and give it enough time to dry so that these beads don't fall off after your complete project is done. So I'm just applying a little glue, and the bottles I'm using here are empty bottles that I purchased them on Amazon, and then fill them with the glue of my choice. These are very helpful when you're working with some small items like these. I will also share the link to the purchase link below. So it is very helpful. Just tiny bottles, and the best part is they don't clog, and they have a really fine tip which help us in sticking such small things like mirrors, beads, etc. So I'm just adding another mirror here, and after this I am using this 3D outliner. You can use regular craft paint as well. I am using this 3D outliner and just placing some dots around these mirrors just to add more detailing to this. Like I told you, you can modify the project according to your choice, but these little details add so much more beauty to the project. So I'm just adding contrast red dots here around the mirror, and then after that I will be using my dotting tool and then placing white dots around the tag. This is just regular white acrylic paint, and if you don't have a dotting tool, you can just search around the house. Maybe you can find a small ball pen or the tip of an empty pen or anything small, maybe a toothpick, to make these dots. This was my project for today. Since festive season is just around the corner, I thought this festive tags would be a perfect addition to your gifts. They are simple and quick to make. I hope you liked this video and you will also give this technique a definite try. And if you make something similar or recreate this, don't forget to share the images with me on my social media and tag me along. So here is our finished project. I really loved how beautiful they turned out. Simple, beautiful and elegant, isn't it? Really beautiful addition for this festive season. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making these tags. I will be back soon with another interesting tutorial. Until then, stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will be back with another interesting tutorial. Until then, happy crafting. Bye.